$1.33. That is what Meren of Clan Nel Toth costs today. And the average deck built behind her runs $411. 21,900 of those decks sit on EDHrec. She has been in this format for a decade, and in all that time she has never once asked you to spend mana on her ability. We are breaking down the average Meren list. Every deck submitted merged into one. So this is what people actually play, not my pet build. By the end you will know the engine, the math, the kill and the $2 core. Read it slowly, because both halves matter. Whenever another creature you control dies, you get an experience counter. Those counters live on you, not on her. They never leave. Kill Meren, counter Meren, exile Meren, the count stays. Then at the beginning of your end step you choose a creature card in your graveyard. If its mana value is at or under your counter total, it walks back onto the battlefield. If it is over, you draw it instead. There is no fail case. So who is actually sleeving this up and what are they building? Numbers from EDHrec. 21,906 decks, that is not a spike, that is tenure. Across the last 5 complete months on record, she has sat between rank 57 and rank 76 out of every commander in the game. No new set pushed her, no reprint saved her, she has simply never stopped being good, which in this format is rarer than being new. People build her 4 main ways. Aristocrats is the big one, 2,453 decks. Sacrifice your own creatures and drain the table. Reanimator is 1,780. Cheat the enormous thing out early. Then Graveyard at 629 and Pure Sacrifice at 592. Those are all the same deck wearing different hats. The average list is the middle of that overlap. Here's the part I like. Of the builders who rated their own deck, 46% put it at bracket 3, the upgraded casual shelf. And her salt score is 0.74, which is low. Nobody resents losing to Meren. You are returning 1 cheap creature per turn, not taking 11 turns in a row, and the table can feel the difference. That is the reputation. Now the engine, and it starts with the cheapest cards in the deck. Meren needs creatures to die, so the average list runs 3 ways to kill them. Viscerasir sacrifices a creature for 0 mana and scries, and it is in 67% of lists. Carrion Feeder does it for free and grows every time. Ashnod's Altar turns each body into 2 colorless mana, which is how these decks pay for the back half of a turn. If sacrificing costs mana, the engine stalls. Then it does have to mean something. Blood Artist is in 54% of lists and drains 1 life from a player of your choice whenever any creature dies. Solaport Cutthroat is in 53% and hits all 3 opponents, but only off your own creatures. That is the real clock. Meren decks rarely win by attacking, they win because 30 creatures died across 9 turns and everybody quietly reached 0. And these are what Meren wants back. Spore Frog is the highest synergy card on her entire page, 76% of lists, and it prevents all combat damage for 1 green mana. Sacrifice it, get it back at end step, do it again next turn. Eternal Witness returns any card from your graveyard and then returns herself. Victimize brings back 2 creatures at once, 41 cents, $1.80, $1.64. At the top of the curve, the average list keeps 2 mythics that end games. Mikaeus, the Unhallowed, gives every non-human creature you control undying, so your fodder comes back bigger without Meren lifting a finger. Yawgmoth, Friend Physician, pays 1 life to sacrifice a creature, shrink something and draw a card at instant speed, as often as you can pay. Hold on to both, they matter again in 4 minutes. That is the engine. Now let us open up the average 99 and count what is really in there. The average list runs 34 lands and 65 spells, and the curve is genuinely low. 15 cards at 1 mana, 14 at 2, and the biggest bucket is 18 cards at 3, exactly where Meren herself lives. Average mana value 2.92, this is not a big dumb reanimator pile. It is a cheap creature deck with a recursion engine bolted on, and it wants to double spell from turn 4. Break the average 99 down by type, and it gets clearer. 36 creatures. More than a third of the deck, and it has to be, because here every creature is also a resource. 9 sorceries, 7 instants, 6 artifacts, 6 enchantments, 1 planeswalker, 34 lands. Almost nothing in this deck does nothing when it dies. That is the whole design. Now the number that decides your games. I counted 10 ways to sacrifice a creature in the average list from Viscera Seer up to High Market and Phyrexian Tower. At 10 outlets, 54% of your opening hands have won. By turn 3, you are at 67%. So roughly 1 game in 3 you spent the early turns waiting, and that is the first thing any build should fix. The mana is tighter than it looks. 34 lands in the average 99 means 45% of opening hands hold 3 or more, fewer than half. The deck survives that because 7 of its creatures ramp or fix, Sakura, Tree Beelder and Birds of Paradise and Llanowar Elves among them, and because a 2-land hand with a 1-drop is genuinely keepable here. Just know what you are keeping. So that is what is in the deck. Here is how a real game with it actually goes. Turn 2, Sakura Tree Beelder, block something, sacrifice it, fetch a land. Turn 3, Meren lands, and every creature that dies is now banking a counter. Turn 4, you want an outlet, say Viscera Seer, and every end step hands you a free card off the top of your graveyard. Turn 5, Spore Frog, and combat is over for the rest of the game, because you fog, sacrifice it, and take it straight back. Turn 7, with Blood Artist out, all that recursion is just damage. And the average list quietly contains a real combo: Mikaeus, the Unhallowed, Yawgmoth, Thran Physician and any other non-human creature. Sacrifice that creature to Yawgmoth, Undying returns it with a +1/+1 counter, then point Yawgmoth's -1/-1 counter at it. The counters cancel, Undying is live again, repeat. Infinite sacrifices for 1 life apiece, and with Blood Artist out the table is dead. 1 warning, you draw a card every loop, so count everybody's life total first. There is a second ending, and it is my favorite card in the deck. Living Death is in 36% of lists. Every graveyard swaps with every battlefield. You have spent the game filling yours and emptying theirs with edict effects, so it reads as a one-sided wipe that rebuilds your board in the same breath. $3.53, and it has won me more games than any combo. So that is the deck at $400. Here is the version that costs less than dinner. Start here, because these 3 are why the deck works at any price. Flashback Marauder, Plaguecrafter and Accursed Marauder each force every opponent to sacrifice a creature when they enter, and all 3 are creatures, so Meren hands them back at end step every turn. 26 cents, 40 cents, 37 cents. $1.03 for an edict that repeats forever, and it is the most oppressive dollar in Commander. 3 more for pocket change. Moldavin Reclamation gains a life and draws a card every time creature you control dies for 35 cents, and in a deck sacrificing 3 bodies a turn that is absurd. Village Rites, 38 cents, turns a dying creature into 2 cards at instant speed. And Sir Conrad the Grim, $1.09, pings all 3 opponents whenever a creature card leaves your graveyard. Here is the money. The average list totals $411. The 6 cheap cards that actually define it, Spore Frog, Sakura Tree Beelder, Viscera Seer, Flashback Marauder, Plaguecrafter and Village Rites, come to $2.25 together. EDHdex tracks 2,190 Meren decks built on a budget. That is 1 builder in 10 calling the expensive half optional, and they are mostly right. Mostly. Here is where the other $400 goes and which of it earns the money. 2 cards are most of the gap. Phyrexian Altar is $56 and it is the best outlet in the deck, free instant speed, and it makes colored mana instead of colorless. Grave Pact is $33 and it is those edict effects permanently. Every creature you sacrifice makes each opponent sacrifice 2. If you buy 1 expensive card for this deck, buy that one. Dictate of Erebos is the $17 copy. After that it is lands and tutors. Phyrexian Tower is $27 for a land that sacrifices a creature and makes 2 black mana. A free outlet in a slot you were already playing. And Tomb is $18, 1 black mana, instant speed, and it puts any card from your library straight into your graveyard. Which, with Meren out, is a tutor that skips the cost. That is the whole deck. Here it is, all 99 cards at once. That is the full average list, every one of the 99. It lives on Meren's EDHrec page, it is linked in the description below, and it shifts a little every week as people submit decks, 36 creatures, 34 lands, and a commander who hands one of them back at the end of every turn for free. Screenshot it, cut the $50 cards, and the deck still works. A $1 commander at the head of a $400 deck, and the $2 cards are the ones doing the work. Buy the frog and the edicts first. Everything above that is comfort. The average deck list is linked in the description. This has been EDHdex.